Evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Shadow Edge Media here live for the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series Season 25 finale. And I know I threw in the chat there, I need a dang producer. I'm having all sorts of issues on this end. It was the update hadn't auto-updated at some point throughout the day for me. And now that it has, I can't connect to anything, and trying to get that all sorted out before the race gets going here in about 9 minutes, or at least the qualifying period gets started here in about 9 minutes. And it looks like I may be good now, so I'm going to give it another shot here. But as you take a look at the leaderboard, and I'm going to try to walk us through this while I'm doing stuff here on the back end. But no fewer than 5 drivers here entering tonight's race, the finale, the 58 lapper around Watkins Glen. No fewer than 5 of them are up for the championship, in contention for the championship, starting with Well Done Baku, Cratrium, Blister Gypsy, Foontang, and CMD Slipstream. And before today's race, here in the pit lane, I heard that Family Dude's going to go ahead and decide to mix it up a little bit. The Season 24 champion's going to rear his head and try to ruin somebody's evening here by taking some of those points off the board. And so we may very well, I'm going to take him at his word, we may very well see Family Dude out on the track for this one. The last time we saw him was in Season 24 when he won the championship in the Fiat X19. So 100 bonus points since it's the last race. You're gonna have to give me a second so I can go back through. And again, I'm efforting my connection to the actual event. So pardon me as I get through that. Forza Motorsport had an update today, and apparently my system didn't auto-update while I was at work, and so come to find out, I get home, and it is not auto-updated, and trying to do all that within the moments that I have before things get kicked off for the stream has been a little bit hectic. So I'm going to give this one more shot. If it doesn't work, the only other thing that I could possibly do is try to jump out or restart my computer and come back in. So we're going to see. Just a joke, says Slapsville. I got you, man. Sorry, my mind's over here, and there we go. Okay, we're good. I feel much better now. Everything's okay. Goose Fraba. Thanks for tuning in. Dustin Moore broadcasting to you live. That's the craziness of doing this thing solo, without a producer, without any crew. When something goes wrong, and inevitably something will go wrong, man, it's like it's frantic, and it's like, man, you want to make everything look good. You want this race to go well. You want everybody to see the entire thing. The qualifying, all 58 laps. We don't want to miss a single bit, and you're not going to want to miss a single bit here today. 58 laps, again, out at the Glen, Aston Martin V8 Vantages. This is the finale. This is it. No more points to be had here in Season 25, except for those that are up for grabs here tonight. And yes, 5 drivers in the running for the championship, and I appreciate Blister Gypsy and Family Dude. I believe those two had put together kind of the schematic of all the different scenarios that are at play, all the different ways that these 5 drivers could come away with the championship. When this race gets done here tonight, I'm going to try to, live, do what we need to do to determine a preliminary champion before it becomes official. We'll try to do that here after the broadcast of the race and get things going there. I'm going to take a look at the queue for interview section. Let's go ahead and let's chat it up with a few drivers. And as I take a look in there, let's go to T-Phrase first. I'm not sure who was in the queue for interview first, but let's go over to T-Phrase. T-Phrase, happy Tuesday evening to you heading out to the Glen. I know you said, hey, this is a track that you're looking forward to. I have to imagine that's still holding true here as we get ready for qualifying.
Yes, sir. This is my track. This is the one I chose, so I'm pumped for it. I'm obviously still not the fastest guy there, but some people are throwing wrenches in it with potentials. We've heard rumblings. I don't know if Slapsville is here or not, but Family Dude is going to be here. He's in there, and it looks like no, I don't see Slapsville in there right now, but he was
Oh,
potentially going to come back,
yeah.
and that would have really thrown a wrench in the championship. So we were excited about that.
It could, and I would be interested to know what those folks who are in the running for the championship are going to think, and we'll talk to Blister Gypsy here in a second. You're on the opposite end of the scoreboard right now, sitting in 14th position, right there behind Presto is Besto. Iceman Misfit is up there by a couple of points. Where do you see yourself here at the end of the night? This is your track. This is your place to be. You've told me that you feel pretty darn confident in these V8 Aston Martin Vantages. Do you see yourself on the left side of the leaderboard here, perhaps 12th or anywhere higher?
Yes. I think from what we looked at in rivals, I think I was 6 or 7. I ran 1 or 2 115s, but consistently I was about a 116.4, 116.5. And I think that's going to put me right in that 7th, 8th place. It won't be up there with some of the guys that are on the leaderboard, which is fine because I don't want to be battling door to door with them and ruin their championship hopes. What I'd like to be is there's 3 guys in front of me that are 1 or 2 points in front of me in the championship. If I can get in front of all of them, then I'm happy. Finish 10th in the championship, be fine with me, or maybe 11th, something like that. But who knows? So I'm just excited to be at the Glen. It's my favorite.
Talking with T-Phrase here in the driver's spotlight before the season 25 finale of the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series out here at the Glen. Let's talk about the track again. What makes this particular course, even though we're going to be at the short circuit, so we're not going to get the full circuit here, but what makes this circuit so great?
Well, as you know, with all of my skins, I'm a NASCAR guy. I chose the NASCAR circuit for a reason. I feel like if we'd have done just the short one without the kink, it would have been a runaway with people that had the wheels. I think because you can be so smooth on this track because it is so fast.
Yeah.
Now adding this kink in, it adds that little bit of a switchback factor, which we know that with a controller you're faster with than you are with a steering wheel. So I think that just adds another wrinkle to it. And it'll just be interesting to play out. And I'm just so excited for it, man. I really am. I'm ready to get going.
Same here. It's going to be a wonderful race. We've got 22 drivers, it appears, out on the grid. Spot for one more. Perhaps that's where Slapsville is going to jump in and have some fun with everybody out on the track. T-Phrase, good chatting with you here before the race. Best of luck to you in qualifying, and best of luck out on the track, and hopefully, like you said, maybe a 10th or 11th place overall finish when this is all said and done.
Thank you, sir, and I appreciate, again, everything you've done for us this year.
You bet. Looking forward to coming back. All right, chatting with T-Phrase there before qualifying gets underway. We did see Blister Gypsy, or I did see Blister Gypsy in the pit lane, or not the pit lane, but the queue for interview just a bit ago, and he's jumped back out. So we'll see if we can't get at least one more driver in here before qualifying gets underway. I think it's supposed to happen here at the top of the hour. Perhaps the organizers can give us a little bit of leeway, about a minute or two, if we've got another driver who would be willing to chat. Otherwise, maybe we'll catch up with them between qualifying and the race itself. 58 laps out at the Glen here in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage A700 class here in Forza Motorsport 7 in the Xbox or on the PC, whichever you have. You can participate in this series, 607 horsepower with a matching 607 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm going to go ahead and get in spectate mode because it looks like everybody's readying up. Blister Gypsy, Modern Weapon are the only two to not be readied up currently, and you're taking that long, hard look there at the leaderboard. We'll pull that down here in a second. But, yes, lots of moving and shaking happening at the conclusion of week number 4. Well done, Baku, making a move up to the top with Slipstream dropping down as a result of not having participated in at least the last week's full week of racing or full day of racing. We'll see. Let's see. Is Slipstream in here right now? And I'll go ahead and switch things over so you all can actually see. And right now we've got Well Done Baku, Fear the Fun, Mr. Biggie, Cratrium, Fast Eddie, Gotta Go Fast, Private Louie, Autobahn, Motive, Funtang, Bippity, Slow Motion Fire, Blister Gypsy. The list goes on. We'll go through the rest of them here before we get out of qualifying. That way you know who all is out on the grid, or at least those who are qualifying. And surely if they're qualifying, they will be racing here tonight. Tuesday night racing, Shadow Edge Media, AMS GG Racing telling us in the pit lane that he is excited. We're looking down long front straightaway here at Watkins Glen, waiting for the drivers to march on down towards turn number 1. We've got a couple of drivers who are showing up there in pit lane, oddly enough. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. And we might have to reset. There might be a reset required here for this one. Yeah, we've got drivers in pit lane. Something has gone awry. And I'm going to go ahead and switch it back over to the leaderboard. Only half the grid loaded, so they are backing out. So I'm going to back out as well. All kinds of fun happening here. Again, if something will go wrong, well, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong, is the expression that we're aiming for. Slow Motion Fire giving us that update. Ollie telling us a failed start, so a little bit of a glitch. Had some drivers loaded up into pit lane. That's not where we want them to be to start things off. 3 laps of qualifying mean that you'll have 1 standing start and then 2 rolling qualification laps. The best of those 3 is what's going to dictate where you are on the grid. The slowest clean lap here in Forza Motorsport 7, the slowest clean lap is always better than the fastest dirty lap. You can have an amazing lap, but if you dirty it, which means getting 3 or more wheels outside the track limits, or colliding with the wall, then that will result in a dirty lap. And for our drivers who are going around, they can, pardon me, they can see that with a little triangular icon with an exclamation mark, and you'll see that on the leaderboard after we go back. A few drivers inevitably will have a dirty lap as their best time. That means that they will fall behind any driver who sets a clean lap, regardless of what that clean lap looks like. All right, here we go. We're going to try it again. 3 laps of qualifying out at the beautiful Glen, 2.49 miles, the short circuit of all circuits. It'll be only 3 laps for the qualifying, 58 for the real deal. Family Dude saying this new update is looking fun. It seems like maybe it's giving fits here today. And, oh, we've got a driver. Yeah, we have a driver loading up in pit lane once again. So, I don't know what the contingency here is going to be. Perhaps with the race organizers, what they'll do is maybe they'll just go into a random grid ordering. Family Dude's going to go ahead and drive this thing backwards. This is disappointing, and I know Family Dude is saying, hey, the update is looking fun. We don't know if this is related to the update or if this is something entirely different. If it is related to the update, well, gosh darn it, we've got plenty of video proof here, wouldn't you say? As there's Presto's Besto doing burnouts back there. T-Phrase in that Chevy City Aston Martin Vantage. He's going to do donuts around Drift Bunny's car. And I'm going to go ahead and duck back out again. So we're trying, folks, with all our might to get this thing underway. It's the finale, season 25. 25 different seasons this Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series crew has been putting on all the way back since the Forza Motorsport 4 days. And, man, if you ask me, that is one heck of a track record. That is a lot of racing. I would be curious if anybody had any inkling in terms of the amount of mileage they have racked up. Yes, I know. Me coming from my own Mileage Masters Championship Series, it would be appropriate that I ask how much mileage has been achieved in these events. But man, they must have gone around the world several times by now with 25 of these series. 5 weeks of racing. They drop your lowest week in terms of points, and at the end of it all, what you see right here, this is the culmination of 4 weeks worth of racing, or 3 weeks, taking everybody's worst week out. But whoever ends up with the most points at the end of this thing, you're the champion. And the thing about the Forza Motorsport Spec Series is that because it is only one car, one make, one model, one parameter, one setup, like they all have the same performance upgrades, and we'll talk about those here in a little bit. Because those things are all the same, the beauty is that the winner, the champion, gets to select then the next car. whatever car vehicle that they're going to be in for the next season. Season 26 coming up, and already they've got some exciting ideas in terms of what that's going to look like, not only the car choice, but then the liveries. And that series will start on February the 25th. February 25th, word I got was the 25th. It would make more sense if it was the 26th. Perhaps it is the 25th. I don't know. It looks like we're all going to jump out of this lobby. Bear with us, folks. We're trying to work through right now some loading issues. Big J Bishop saying they're hard restarting the games and a new lobby. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and hard restart. Sky Active saying, what a joke. I got a feel for the developers a little bit because, today's games, they're so complex versus what they were like before online modes, multiplayer, before graphics were this intense. It has to be tricky, but I feel like there's got to be some Q&A to this. There's got to be some things that they can go in there and check to make sure that everything is A-okay. And I see Blister Gypsy has joined us in the queue for interview section. So after I get things figured out here with the lobby, then we'll try to maybe have an interview before we get out on the track. And let's see here. I'm just going to have to go ahead and do a hard little restart of my own. If you're just joining us, the race organizers are trying to assemble things for qualification. Unfortunately, some drivers are loading up in the pit lane. Some drivers, I think, aren't even loading up at all. And so now what we're trying to accomplish is a complete redo of the lobby and see if that helps things. If it does, then this is unfortunately just another bug that Turn 10 is going to have to go back through and try to rectify. Sky Active, thank you for the follow. Feichner? I'm going to go with Feichner. Thank you for the follow. Greatly appreciated. And everybody who's watching, and I know we haven't gotten to the action yet, but I do thank you for tuning in here on this Tuesday evening, at least where I'm at. Perhaps it's a Wednesday morning for some of you. And we're trying to get the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series Season 25 finale underway. Looking at the pit lane, Futang says, yay, update day. Shouldn't have broken the game if they didn't want to start from the pits. Well, man, who knows? Who knows what's going on here? We've got drivers joining back up into the lobby. Let me go ahead and read through these names since I didn't get through everybody the first go-around. Slow Motion Fire, Phone Tank, Disco Joint, Presto's Besto, Private Louie. That's a new name here in Season 25. It's PJ Dude, Fear the Fun, Gotta Go Fast, Mr. Biggie, who showed up for the first time last week and had a phenomenal, actually, no, it wasn't his first showing, but has had great runs for the time that he has been here. So if he's returning for Season 26, that's going to be a name that you're going to want to look out for. Slipstream, Modern Weapon, Cratrium, T-Phrase, Well Done Baku, Motive, Demos, Family Dude, Drift Bunny, Weiss Lancelot, Bippity, Blister Gypsy. 21 drivers currently in the lobby, and I think we had at least one other who was here, and possibly even one more. Fast Eddie is now connected, so we've got room for one more if anybody else happens to be joining, and we'll see what happens here. If this doesn't work, the only thing I can guess is that the organizers are going to put this in a random grid lobby order, or perhaps rack and stack the order based on points. That way they can get this race underway. I'm only guessing. I'll continue to watch the league's Discord to see if the race organizers provide any thoughts there. And once we get this thing underway, at least the qualifying aspect of it, then we will talk to Blister Gypsy. It looks like Blister was trying to get in here. Blister being the third driver on the overall leaderboard there with 105 points, so we definitely want to get his perspective. We talked to T-Phrase there for a little bit, and it looks like now they're just waiting for Blister Gypsy to go ahead and ready up, and then we'll get underway. And I'm not sure. Oh, he hasn't loaded yet, so we haven't even loaded the the lobby yet. I mentioned that obviously after today, the finale of Season 25, there will be a little bit of a break before Season 26, and I'm proud to announce, I was going to mention this at the end of the stream, but I might as well do it now while I'm trying to kill dead air. What we're going to do is we're going to do some Be a Better Photographer sessions. Yeah, it's something that I used to do on the broadcast on the channel, and we'll have our first one next Tuesday, and that's actually going to be at 8 p.m. or excuse me, 9 p.m. Eastern time is when we'll get that going. And bear with me, I'm watching the screen again because some things are changing here. All right, I think we're getting very, very close, dangerously close to finishing or starting. Well, we got to start before we finish. We're trying to get to that starting point. Autobahn has reconnected, so the lobby is now full. Everybody is almost readied up as soon as Autobahn has, and then I'll flip the screen. Actually, let's go ahead and flip the screen over for you. Get another view as opposed to that leaderboard time and time again. Aston Martin V8 Vantage A700 class. As I mentioned, 607 horsepower and 607 foot-pounds of torque, 3,663 pounds of curb weight. They've got race oil and cooling in the engine and power section, platform and handling-wise, race brakes, race springs and dampers, front and rear race anti-roll bars, race chassis reinforcement and roll cage, race weight reduction, street drive lines, race differential, tires and rims, race tire compound with 305 40 18s wrapped around 57 optimized, and here we go. Now we are underway. A round of applause. We've got things going. Fast Eddie's going to be the first one into turn number one, and this is probably the fastest that I've seen these drivers get off the line here for qualifying. And this first one, because it is a standing start, means that they won't necessarily get their fastest time. So if they do get off the track here, no better time to do it than this on this very first lap. Getting by the guardrails there, you see the track really starts to get claustrophobic, especially once you put a bunch of cars in here. So lap 1 and 2, we're definitely going to be watching out for that. Here comes the little bit of the kink on the backside of the Glen, and man, we're watching, what is this? I think this is, who is this? Fast Eddie that's just sliding all around there in that gray Aston Martin Vantage. There goes T-Phrase wide through the back corner, and let's go ahead and see if we can't make our way up to the front of the grid. And actually Fast Eddie right now has, well, because he was the first off the line, he's currently has the least amount of time out on the track, or the most amount of time out on the track. But now here's where it really starts to matter. Fear the Fun out in front of the pack. And that's kind of where you want to be, because with all these drivers, 23 of them out there on the track, even though they're ghosted to allow you to qualify without any issue, the last thing you want to see are a bunch of silhouettes when you're hitting the apex like he just did right there. Fear the Fun looking very, very good through turn number 1, up to T2, then 3 and 4 in the S's. Spits him through the chute. Family Dude back behind him there in second. Well done, Baku, and that's going to be Fruntang back there in that magenta NVIDIA liveried Aston Martin. And here they go through the kink once again. This is what T-Phrase was telling us, that it was T-Phrase who actually selected this track for the finale. And he said, yeah, I want to throw that kink in there because that helps, you know, loosen it up a little bit, especially for those drivers who may be on controller and they're definitely jamming the thumbsticks a lot more than those who have a wheel, because you'll notice that apart from the kink, this track is very, very, very quick, and the corners aren't too sharp, so you can get through here pretty quickly, especially if you have smooth handling either with the sticks or the wheel. That kink back there just enough to mess things up or throw you off a little bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the race stats, and there you go. Fear the Fun's got the fastest time. He's going to quickly hand that over. The baton goes to Family Dude with a 1:15.6, and currently he will be the top time. Fruntang back there with 160 miles an hour. That's going to be the top speed, but that really doesn't matter much if you're not on the pole. We'll go up to Family Dude there, running in first. Yes, second position-wise there, but position irrelevant with the qualifying here. Coming out of the kink and down the swooping right-hander. This is where you would take a left if we were on the full circuit, but just the short circuit, and Family Dude's going to run wide, so he will not have an opportunity to beat his own time here on the third qualifying lap. Foontang back there right behind him. Let's go to Foontang and see if Foontang's able to make the most of that, take advantage of Family Dude's error. Through the final right-hander, this is the corner that I have the most problems with every single time. I either run wide or I slow down too much and I'm going so slow through that corner that it kills my times. And there you go, Family Dude's going to be able to hold on to it with that 1:15.6. Nobody else is going to do one better, at least not for now. And Family Dude again emerging as the season 24 champion, showing up for the first time here in season 25, looking to wreck some racers' day by taking some points off the board. Let's go ahead and take a look at the previous race results. Do not mind the position off to the left-hand side. Unfortunately, we cannot sort this by best lap. You take a look at it, though, and there's that 1:15.6 by Family Dude sitting there in the fourth position. He'll be bumped up to the pole. Sitting opposite of him on the pole, and as I look through, is going to be Fear the Fun with that 1:16.0. Fear the Fun very, very quickly, just almost, it happened within a blip of a second. Fear the Fun grabbed the top time, and then Family Dude came in and stole it. And then back behind them, it'll be Foontang, it looks like, with a 1:16.06, just 0.5 of a second off Fear the Fun's time. And let's go ahead and let's head over to the, well, nobody in the queue for interview section. If there are any drivers who would like to chat before we get this race underway, we'd love to be able to talk with you before we do so, because otherwise it's 58 laps of racing, and the only other time we'll have a chance to have a word will be after the fact. So go to the queue for interview section. Gonna have a little chit chat. Give us your thoughts on how you felt about your qualifying time, and then how things are going to happen out on the track. And now we've got Blister Gypsy here. Well, we had Blister Gypsy. Let's try it again. Maybe we won't lose Blister this time. Blister, can you hear me? And Blister's jumped back out. So let me go ahead and bring Family Dude in here real quick. Family Dude, hey, good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Tell us
this at all.
Yeah, tell us the thought process here. We don't see you for the entirety of season 25, or at least through the first 4 weeks, and then poof, like a magician, here you are.
I figured I spent so much time working out who had to finish in what position to win the championship. I thought I'd come in and throw a spanner in the works, as it were. Keep things interesting.
No kidding. And then you show up here and you were telling me before this race, before the broadcast even kicked off, you said, hey, I'm really taking no team practice or no practice to the max here. No practice whatsoever. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I've ran a couple of races with this car in hoppers a couple of weeks ago. Apart from that, yeah, that's all I've had. So that was an interesting quality.
Yeah, and then you come out here and turn the quickest lap at the Glen. We were talking with T. Fraze earlier. He loves this track. This was the track that he nominated for the season. Do you have an affinity for the track as much as he does?
After getting pole, is it going to sound bad if I say I'm really not great on this track?
Oh yeah,
I know. It's not a favorite.
You can't say that after you get pole. Absolutely not. Okay.
Yeah, I've never been
so
a fan of it.
Not your fastest, but how about the car? I mean, knowing that you haven't had a chance to really practice with it, but what do you think here of your choice of the Aston Martin?
I mean, I've heard no complaints from people. I've had a lot of people saying it's sort of been a good choice, some good racing over the season. So I'm hoping for more of the same today, really.
Very good. Well, Family Dude, hey, good to see you out there on the track. We've got almost a full grid. It looks like one of their drivers dropped out. So best of luck to you out there, and maybe we'll see you here at the end in the finishing Absolutely. Lane or zone or pit lane, whatever we want to call it.
Well, see what happens, I guess. Should be a good one, though.
Very good, very good. All right, let's see if we can't get Blister Gypsy this time around. Blister,
Can you hear me, buddy?
There we go.
All right,
We got you. Third overall on the leaderboard, and then like a phantom, Family Dude decides he wants to show up and play along. What are your thoughts?
He's signed up. He's the defending champ. I think it would have been a crime for him to not show up and at least run one time. So, what better time than now when it's getting down to the wire?
How do you feel? Obviously, we see Family Dude up on the pole position now. How do you feel about your qualifying?
My lap was pretty consistent with what I was running in practice. Hopefully, so the funny thing, Family Dude has the least practice out of everybody.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't run it all this year, but he still comes out here and swamps us with a fast time. So hopefully I can just hang on to his rear bumper for as long as possible and try to put a gap on everybody else.
That's a pretty humbling experience. You know, you come out here, you know you're having a great season, sitting third overall on the leaderboard, just behind Kratrium, well done Baku, and you're thinking, man, okay, this is going to be an interesting finish, and then here comes the champion, just to almost kind of like put it back in everybody's face, just to say, hey, just to remind you, here I am, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a fun event for myself and for everybody else out there. Overall, through this season, looking back, any chance or any particular week that you look back on and say, hey, if I did better that week, man, this could be a whole different situation, or really have you given your all this up to this point and it's just going to have to come down to this race?
Oh, goodness, man. The last 2 weeks have just been, from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, right?
Yeah.
Because Road Atlanta, I ran real good. And then Prague, I was so dead set on winning that one. I told you the week before that I was dead set on winning that one, and just a stupid move, first lap, all my fault. Took myself out of that one, and then last week, Sebring, first lap, last corner, went a little wide, bounced off the tires, and then obviously you saw the explosion at Road Atlanta. So have a history, at least this season, of driving a little over my head. I think tonight I'm going to try to race the track more than I'm focused on everybody else. That's usually where I end up getting into issues. So just try to keep it clean. It's 58 laps. I'm not going to win it on one lap, but I can lose it. So
we're efforting Weiss Lancelot to try to get him in here, talking with Blister Gypsy in the driver's spotlight. You mentioned, hey, race the track, maybe not so much the drivers. How do you do that here early on, especially when it looks like we might have a full lobby, 23 drivers out there on the grid? How are you going to be able to race the track when you have so much traffic around you early on?
It's almost kind of like a mental thing that I don't think of another car on the track as somebody I have to pass or as some kind of objective, but rather I try to look at it as just like an object or an obstacle on the track that I have to get around. Once you start taking things a little personally, like I really got to get around that guy, that's usually when you start driving the tires off of it and you end up, last lap bouncing off the wall at Road Atlanta. So
you're speaking my experience to a T. That's me every time I get out there. Hey, Blister Gypsy, I appreciate you chatting. We've got a full lobby here, so I'll let you get back and get readied up. Best of luck to you out there on the track.
All right, thanks, Dustin.
All right, take care, and there we go. Yeah, we do. We've got 23 drivers out on the grid. This will be the first time here in Season 25 that it's happened. I don't know when the last time was that the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series had an entire grid of drivers out there, and they're all driving that Aston Martin V8 Vantage A700 class. 58 laps out at the Watkins Glen short circuit. And that's going to be a lot of cars, 23 of them going into T1, then T2 and 3, up the hill, through the chute, down the back straightaway, into the kink, into that swooping right-hander, heading back toward the start-finish line. You've got another left and a right. It's going to get interesting. And we're just waiting for the race organizers to go ahead and get this one started. Blister Gypsy yet to ready up, perhaps making a last-minute adjustment before we get out on the track. And yes, Family Dude, who is going to be sitting on the pole position, the Season 24 champion, not in the running. He doesn't have a single point to his name coming into this race, but he's coming in here to mix it up, and mix it up indeed. He already told us there in the driver's spotlight. He's just kind of coming back to remind folks, hey, who the champion is. And here we go. We've got the launch countdown. 2, 1, here we go. Family Dude giving us a little bit of clarification on track limits. Can use all of the curb, but not the grass at the bus stop. Not strictly Forza Clean. So there's a little bit of a definition of what they're looking for out here on the track. We'll keep our eyes on the drivers and try to help police things as much as we can. But here we go. Kick the tires, light the fires. Family Dude is off the grid. They're too wide. Fu-Tang back there in 4th and 5th position, giving a little bit of a bump there to the backside of Mr. Biggie. And to the inside out of T1, it's going to be Blister Gypsy. There we go. Grabbing the top spot. Now through T2, heading up that hill. And it's a whole slew of cars, 23 of them here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series Season 25 finale. Down the backstretch they go for the start of lap number 1, up to the kink. Fear the Fun back there in 2nd position. And a couple of names to be on the lookout for. Well done, Baku, who's our season leader. Cratrium, Blister Gypsy, Fu-Tang, Slipstream, not out on the track here today. So that's at least one less driver that we'll have to be looking out for. Actually, I'm completely lying. Slipstream back there in 6th position. He's so much of a slipstream, he avoided me through the pre-race situation, the pre-race ceremonies that we had there. And there we go, Fear the Fun with Family Dude back behind him. Blister Gypsy out in front. And that's how they're going to cross the line here this first time by. AMSGG Racing saying, wow, Family Dude looks like he didn't get a good start. I wanted to say the same thing. I wasn't quite sure. I don't know if maybe if he lost grip from the tires. And, Fear the Fun running a little bit wide out of T1 up onto the runoff area. I was kind of thinking the same thing, but at the same time I was thinking, well, maybe Family Dude's just going to kind of not be too aggressive off the start and perhaps allow that inside line to kind of filter past. And let's go ahead and run through the pack. Fear the Fun there in 2nd behind Blister Gypsy. Family Dude in 3rd. Well done, Baku in 4th. Mr. Biggie is 5th. Cratrium, who's 2nd overall on the leaderboard, 6th out on the track right now. Private Louie in 7th. Disco Joint is 8th. T-Phrase 9th. Presto is Besto in 10th. Slow Motion Fire is 11th. There goes Fear the Fun with Family Dude to the inside. And down the straightaway here in the infield. And Family Dude's going to go ahead and drop back behind. Pardon me, drop back behind Fear the Fun. Got to go fast. Slipstream 12th and 13th. 14th is Modern Weapon. Fu-Tang is 15th. Fu-Tang way back there. 15th position. PJ Dude in 16th. Ray Devil is 17th. Fast Eddie 18th. Drift Bunny. Motive. Weiss Lancelot are 19, 20, and 21. Demos is 22nd. Bippy in 23rd. And that is it. That's all 23 drivers who started, all 23 out on the track. Still, nobody has gone in for a pit stop. As we continue to watch Fear the Fun, Family Dude, single file coming through the chute. Back out on the back straightaway for lap number 3. The laps, they turn quickly. 58 of them, though. That means we're going to have a lot of racing and quite possibly a need for a pit stop. 4 tires can go under the curbing, just not into the grass, as we've been advised there by GG Racing heading into this one. Family Dude really close onto the back bumper, even throwing some sparks, and he is peaking. He wants to get around Fear the Fun so badly, as Well Done Baku continues to set the pace out there in front. Excuse me, Blister Gypsy out there in front. It's Well Done Baku who is tops on the leaderboard, but he is currently riding in 4th. Let's go to Well Done Baku there in 4th position with Mr. Biggie right there on his heels in that Pennzoil V8 Aston Martin. Through that final turn, and Mr. Biggie was way up onto the grass, well beyond the apex. That was purely by accident. I don't think that was a line that you want to even try to take. Straight, single file, down the backstretch to turn number 1. Once again, you've got a lot of banking to work with in that corner. If you hit that apex really well, it should line you up nicely to at least tap the rumble strips on the outside, but stay off the runoff area, and that's where we want to see our drivers. We don't want to see them running wide through there and try to carry momentum. Mind the track limits as much as possible. Fear the Fun now back toward the King. Family Dude right behind him. Family Dude, excuse me, Fear the Fun probably thinking, man, Family Dude, why did you have to show up here today? Didn't you have better things to do than try to come in here and ruin our fun here tonight? Yeah. and back down the hill. That slight sloping right-hander. So much speed to be had out here. We'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the dash telemetry here for Fear the Fun. That's not going to tell you much as far as the speed goes. Let's go ahead and go to the telemetry. That's not going to help us out either. And back down the straightaway. They're going to remain in this single file format for a little bit here. Blister Gypsy really kicking it in high gear. We saw him win a couple of races here throughout season 25. Definitely was impressed by his prowess out here and in this Aston Martin, and he's showing it once again at the Glen. No doubt. Well done, Baku, back there in fourth. Again, he's our leader, overall leader, with 121 points on the leaderboard. Cratrium is the next one in line, and he has Cratrium back behind him, so he's good as far as that goes. But what he doesn't want to see is Blister Gypsy in the position that he's in right now. As far as points go, first place will get you 25. Second place is 22. Third is 20. Fourth place gets 15. And it continues to trend downward from there through that final left-hander on the fifth lap of this 58. Actually, they've tacked on another one. It looks like we're going to do 59 here tonight. And Family Dude onto the inside, right there on that back right rear tire, that driver's side tire with the drivers on the right-hand side of these Aston Martins. And Family Dude's going to go ahead and concede T1. At least this point, there goes Fear the Fun running wide, and now here we go. We've got a battle for second into T2. It's going to be Family Dude to the inside, and he is going to take it. Family Dude up to second, Fear the Fun in third. Well done, Baku in fourth, and oh, look out, Fear the Fun is up under the guardrail. Fortunately, that didn't shoot him back out toward the middle of the track. That would have been bad news for Well Done. And now Well Done Baku is up to third position, with Blister Gypsy now exiting the kink. Well Done now entering it, and now will exit it himself. Fear the Fun back there. Mr. Biggie is starting to creep up back there in fifth position. We've seen that Pennzoil car hanging out in that area actually all the way since the beginning. That's where he qualified, was either in fourth or fifth. Cratrium there a little bit further back with Private Louie in there. Private Louie, a new name for me at least, here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Series 25, the 25th season. Not sure if maybe he's participated in the past, but putting on a good show back there in sixth. Back through T1 once again, back behind Private Louie, this Cratrium. T-Phrase, look at T-Phrase having one heck of a race, telling us here in the driver's spotlight before this one, this is his track, this is his place, this is his home. Give the man a top 10 finish. He's looking for it not only in the race, but also as they threw a mirror goes flying off the track, also looking for a top 10 finish on the leaderboard. He said 10th, maybe 11th, but looking for 10th. He's got Disco Joint right behind him through the kink. Back behind Disco Joint, it's going to be Funtang. Funtang is starting to make his way up through the pack. Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened with that Magenta Nvidia car early on in the race. He qualified quite high, if I do remember correctly. Obviously not racing quite high at this point. Plenty of time, plenty of laps, plenty of mileage, plenty of opportunities. And we've got a driver who is in pit lane. That's going to be... Pardon as I try to shoot all the way back there. It's Motive who's in 23rd position. He'll be put a lap down now as the leaders get by. And let's go ahead to Motive to make sure that he emerges from pit lane cleanly as the lead lap cars come back around T1. It's a slow little corner there out of pit lane, and then the AI will relinquish control, give it back to you. Unfortunately, what a great spot. That couldn't have worked out any better for Motive, coming out in front of T-Phrase, who's a good 15-20 car lengths back. Back up to the front of the pack. It is still Blister Gypsy who is leading this one. Family Dude is in second. Fear the Fun in third. We saw that pass a little bit earlier on, but Well Done Baku, who jumped up to third, is now back to fourth position as they get through the kink. Private Louie looking to make a move to the inside there of Mr. Biggie, and he has it with a little bit of sparks shooting between those two. Private Louie now with that move. Let's go to Mr. Biggie, who looks like he's going to try to reclaim 5th position. And he drops back to the back bumper as we get a full-on look at the front bumper there of Private Louie and kicking out a little bit of tire smoke. And now Craytrim to the outside. They're going to possibly be 3 wide down the straightaway across the start-finish line. Beginning of lap number 9, heading up to T1. And Craytrim starting to make some moves out here, and he needs to desperately to hold himself a great finishing spot on the overall leaderboard to even have a chance of coming away as the Season 25 champion. And actually drops back now, back to 7th position. Mr. Biggie to 6th, and Private Louie up there in 5th. Back into the kink. Let's go up to Well Done Baku. They're in 4th. Our overall leader here in Season 25, 121 points. He's got a good lead on Craytrim, his closest competitor, with 112. So he's entering this one in a good position, but with plenty of racing to go. We were talking there with Blister Gypsy, with Family Dude, and I think it was Blister Gypsy that I brought up the traffic. Especially once we start to get halfway through this race, those back markers, you're going to be like, man, didn't I pass that back marker already? They're going to start coming and coming and coming, and you will, before you know it, you're going to find yourself battling it out, not necessarily for position with those guys because you're not on the same lap, but you're going to be battling to get around them, and every second that you spend doing that counts. Especially when you got the likes of Blister Gypsy, Family Dude, Well Done Baku out here. Fear the fun. Drivers, no joke. Let's go up to our race leader there with Blister Gypsy and that No Fear Design Vantage. What a great spot he is in. He's got clean racing, getting very close there with the 4 wheels. Being a little liberal with the cornering there, but I think still within limits. Down the hill. And we see nobody out in front of him. A lone cone sitting there off the driving line, but plenty of distance between he and the nearest back marker, so that'll be smooth sailing for at least the next 5 laps. Shadow Edge Media, Dustin Moore broadcasting to you live here on Twitch TV, of course, unless you're watching the rebroadcast. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you are enjoying the entertainment like Huracan, Sky Active, and Feichtner have been, then please click that follow button. It would be greatly appreciated. Lets me know as the broadcaster that you are enjoying what you are seeing here today, and gives you a notification if you do have your notification set up each and every time we go live. Let's go back to Well Done Baku. We'll continue to return to this name. Again, our overall Season 25 leader. And after the dust has settled and we've assigned ourselves or crowned ourselves a champion here in Season 25, the fun is not over. We'll return to Season 26 here in about 2 weeks' time, 2 or 3 weeks' time. Go to reddit.com/r/FM4 for the latest on the series and to get yourself registered so that you can race out here with these guys. No prerequisites required, no skill level necessary. All you have to do is race cleanly. And then, of course, put your car together according to spec. Put yourself a nice little dapper livery on and get out here and race for about 75 to 85 minutes worth on the Tuesday evening, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Private Louie back there in 5th. We saw that battle between he and Mr. Biggie. Mr. Biggie has dropped back to 7th position now, with Craytrim moving up to 6th. And Craytrim's going to look to the inside of Mr. Biggie, coming up to T1. And this is a corner where I wouldn't attempt it, but Craytrim perhaps a little bit more daring. Nope, he's going to go ahead and he'll drop back as well, just peering to that inside. Because you know, if you sit there on the inside and you see your opponent out in front of you miss that apex, you have a real shot at getting around him there through 1, if not, at least going up the hill in T2. And I think that's exactly what Craytrim is doing. Now following back behind, heading up to the kink. Over the curbing. What do you think about the race so far? Post up in the pit lane. Would love to be able to engage and speak and converse with you all, even though you're doing it with text. I'll sit here and chat with you. Why not? Give us your thoughts. And even though, like I mentioned, the Season 26 coming here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be back next Tuesday. I'm going to do some Be a Better Photographer sessions. Those are always fun. We're going to go to Forza Horizon 4 for that. And I'll help you with some tips and tricks on how to be a better photographer. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll have the opportunity to suggest the car that I take out into the wide world. Forza Horizon 4 and take a photo of AMSGG Racing saying photos. All right, it's Fear the Fun, still there in third, back behind Family Dude. Blister Gypsy in first, fourth position. Well done, Baku. Private Louie in fifth. Mr. Biggie, sixth. Craytream is falling back now to seventh position. Disco Joint in eighth. Foontang in ninth. Unfortunately for T-Phrase, he finds himself now in 10th position after being in eighth there for a little bit. Presto is Besto in 11th. Slipstream in 12th. Got to go fast in 13th. 14th is PJ Dude. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire, who's there in 15th. He's bookended. He's got PJ Dude and Modern Weapon on the front and the back as they come out of the chute. Back on the back straightaway up toward the kink. Lap number 13. Check out Slipstream riding in 12th, 5th overall on the leaderboard. And again, because he missed a few races in, I believe, one whole week, in addition to the fact that he had to drop somewhere, there was a drop that all these drivers had to endure. That has him at 90 points, which is good, but not in a good position out on the track currently. They're in 12th position. Got a lot of catching up to do. Presto is Besto out in front of him. Is going to run wide, out beyond the curves. And let's go back to Well Done Baku, see if he's going to make any moves here. He's got to try to reel in. He's got to try to get around Fear the Fun and then start to reel in Family Dude and then start to reel in Blister Gypsy. So a lot of work for Well Done Baku, probably the most of any driver out here, even though Foontang is a little bit further back. I would argue that the pressure right now is definitely on Blister Gypsy. Or, excuse me, definitely on Well Done Baku. Our overall leaderboard top spot driver. Back across the start-finish line. Private Louie, Mr. Biggie, and Craytrium. This battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th continues, and there goes Mr. Biggie, giving a little bit of a bump there on the money line. Aston Martin Vantage of Private Louie. Now to the inside, up T2. And it's going to be interesting here as, again, this track starts to constrict right here. You got the guardrails on either end. Doesn't leave much room for error. And Craytrium right there on the back, just waiting for one of these two to make a mistake. Mr. Biggie, what a move he made there. He's going to go to the inside, at least through the first part of the kink, be on the outside for the next half. And then inside once again. Oh, just barely keeping two wheels up on the curbing as he does a little bit of the landscaper's work. Look at this. It's like a flying V formation here, these three. And they continue, Mr. Biggie and Private Louie, to be too wide. Mr. Biggie not giving in at all. These two drivers new to Season 25, at least. Mr. Biggie's been with the last couple of weeks. Private Louie new this time around in its entirety, Season 25, coming up here in the finale. And there goes Mr. Biggie. Mr. Biggie looking awfully aggressive here through T1. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle's situation as it relates to tire wear and fuel. And you can see already pit stops are definitely going to be a factor. They're going to weigh in here already at 48, almost 50% up front where that big old engine weighs in at. And then 50% now of the fuel out of Mr. Biggie's car, and Mr. Biggie up to 5th position now. Mr. Gypsy still out there. Family Dude on his own little racing island. Fear the Fun, Well Done Baku, Mr. Biggie, Private Louie, Kratrium, Fotang now up to 8th position. Having a nice run. Disco Joint back there. 23 started, 23 are still on the track, and as you can see by the ticker up above, Motive is the only one not on the lead lap currently. That will change, however, as Blister Gypsy continues to fire around the track on all 8 cylinders. He gets through T2, 3, and 4 as we watch Funtang now come across the start-finish line up to T1. Back there behind them, T-Phrase, and again, we chatted with T-Phrase. He's a big-time advocate of the Glen, and he's in that Chevy City painted up Vantage and is riding in 10th, and good for him because he's got nobody near him at this point. Presto Esbesto is the closest, and that's back 2 or 3 turns there in 11th position. Slipstream in 12th, still having a terrible run at this point. Not a good outing for Slipstream. Got to go fast in 13th. PJ Dude 14th. Modern Weapon 15th. Slow Motion Fire in 16th. Ray Devil 17th. Fast Eddie 18th. Bippity 19th. Weiss Lancelot, Drift Bunny, Demos are 20, 21, and 22. Motive is 23. A little bit of separation now with Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun starting to shed the weight of Well Done Baku there in 4th position. And the racing action doesn't end. I know we talked about Be a Better Photographer next Tuesday, but the racing is not over here on the broadcast. We'll be back live this Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, or excuse me, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the Pit Pass pre-race show as we get ready for Mileage Masters Championship, season number 5, race number 5, heading out to Brands Hatch in the new 2018 Audi RS RS3 LMS car. So that'll be a fantastic race to watch, and then we're concluding season 5 2 weeks from yesterday out at Daytona International with 60 minutes of racing around the Tri-Oval in NASCARs. We want to be there. Blister Gypsy. Let's go ahead and take a look at Blister Gypsy. Not only as he makes his way around the track, but his situation doing a lot better. I was saying that Mr. Biggie looked awfully aggressive. Blister Gypsy able to conserve the tires with not having to battle it out with anybody. 36% is the highest there up on the passenger front tire there on the left-hand side, 33 on the driver's side, and in its 20s, 26, 25 there on the back, 43% fuel. So we'll probably be seeing our drivers head into pit lane here in the next 10 laps or so, and pit strategy definitely going to weigh in on this one. When do you go in? Is it when you have some drivers around you, perhaps you want to create some space, or do you wait until you have depleted that tank to its max? Or, this would be the worst case scenario, do you have to go in because you've incurred some damage on your car? That's the scenario that nobody wants to have play out. As Blister Gypsy now is starting to approach some of that lap traffic. So we'll hang tight with him at least for another couple of turns, and we'll head back and try to find ourselves a battle here toward the front as our drivers start to space themselves out. Family Dude really putting some distance between he and Fear the Fun. Well Done Baku sitting a little bit further behind Fear the Fun. Fifth position, Private Louie, Mr. Biggie, and Kratrium. Those three continue to battle it out. That's going to be one heck of a battle all the way to the finish. Futang in 8th. Disco Joint is 9th. T-Phrase starting to catch up there in 10th position. And then back behind him, Slipstream, Presto Esbesto. So Slipstream finally making his way around Presto Esbesto. That's good news for him. Up to 11th. Through the chute once again for the start of lap number 20. Actually, the halfway point back here on the backstretch up toward the kink. And there goes Blister Gypsy around Demos. no issues there. So nice clean pass on that lap traffic, and it'll be another while before he comes up into another one. And actually, we've got a car well off the pace. Let me see if I can't jump back there real quick. That's going to be Motive, our 23rd place driver who was in the pit lane earlier and is now off the pace. No damage to that car, but trying to get back up to speed, knowing that he has the lead pack right behind him, the lead lap traffic behind him. This will be lap number 2 that he goes down once they get around. Go ahead and hop on board with Well Done Baku as he makes a lap around the Glen, the short circuit here in the Aston Martin Vantage Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series 25, season 25 finale here, beginning of lap number 21 of 59. Ollie telling us that this car really struggles with front tires, so as they get even light wear, the car pushes like crazy. Family Dude says 100% two-stop for me, sadly, so Family Dude already calling his shot. And he's actually already in the pit lane. He's going to go ahead and make that stop happen right now. And, man, that'll throw Family Dude all the way back there into 10th position. And Family Dude had a visitor of Presto Esbesto go in there with him. So, interesting decision to go in at this point. Family Dude saying, hey, 2 stops, it's just how it's going to happen for me. Without any testing for Family Dude, that could be one of the outcomes of not having the ability to come out here and test. One of the results. And we continue to ride with Well Done Baku as we watch Fear the Fun. Crazy amount of tire smoke. It actually looked like he may have tapped the outside barrier. He does not go into pit lane. And now Well Done Baku starting to close in. Let's go ride another lap around on the hood here with Well Done into turn number 1. Losing sight of Fear the Fun just a little bit. Perhaps that's where Fear the Fun is the quickest, up there out of T2. And they come through the kink. And the damage really starting to pour on now for Well Done. And that's starting to be indicated by the sloppy driving now. Coming down that right-hander, you can see that car squiggling all around. Exactly what Ollie was referring to there. Fear the Fun going to punt one of the cones off the track, and let's see here. Do these two go in for a pit stop this time by? And no, they're going to stay out at least one more lap. Blister Gypsy still out there in front. Fear the Fun in second. Well Done Baku in third. And oh no, there's a loading screen, and we hate to see the loading screens. That's usually a precursor of something not fun. And let's go ahead and make sure that we've got all our drivers still out on the track. We don't. We lost somebody. Motive is still out on the track. Who did we lose? Let's see if we can't go through the pack and try to figure it out. Mr. Gypsy still in first. Fear the Fun in second. Well Done Baku in third. Mr. Biggie in fourth. Gratrian, Private Louis, Funtang, T-Phrase, Slipstream, Family Dude, Gotta Go Fast, PJ Dude, Slow Motion Fire, Modern Weapon, Disco Joint, Fast Eddie, Bippity, Weiss Lancelot, Demos, Drift Bunny, Ray Devil, Motive. It's not registering with me right now, but we will try to figure out who that driver was. Now we've lost, and we are now riding with Fear the Fun as he comes up along the lap traffic, and we'll see if they don't duck in here for a pit stop. Blister is not. Blister is still out on the track, and last time we checked, Blister really in a good situation with tires. Let's go ahead and get an update on where he is now. Yeah, look at that. Still under 50%. 28% of fuel left in the tank. He's got another several laps in him before he even has to think about going in for a pit stop. Let's go back to fifth position. Private Louis with Mr. Biggie now up in 5th position, make that 4th position after Family Dude made a stop. So yes, it'll be Biggie, Private, Louie, Cratrium, 4th, 5th, and 6th, respectively. And Cratrium just can't find a way to get around. He needs to, though. He is 2nd overall on the leaderboard. And to try to lock in a championship here, taking down at least 2 or 3 of these guys is going to be essential.
How do I get back in for the restart?
Right, is that who was dropped in the lobby? Was that Presto?
Yep.
All right,
so
after the leader crosses the line, we'll count how many laps we're on. We're calling a caution at the line, the leader.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
And the car that's down the lap gets to go around, right?
Correct.
And so there you go, race control telling us that we're going to go into a caution condition and allow Presto is Besto to get back out onto the track. And so Blister Gypsy, this is not what Blister Gypsy wants. And Fear the Fun, well done Baku, this is good news for them. Mr. Biggie, Private Louie, and Cratrium as well. So that's good from 2nd position on. Not good news for Blister Gypsy. He would have rather this race gone green all the way through as he gets ready to come back toward the start-finish line. And as you heard the race organizer say, we'll go into a yellow flag condition, which will have us actually pulling out of the lobby, and then they'll have to go ahead and restructure things to bring Presto is Besto back in to allow him to try to finish this race out. And Blister Gypsy's going to go ahead and park himself up there onto the runoff area as we get ready to sort through things here. And bear with us, folks, as we get ready. This is the first time that we've had this here in Season 25, and actually I didn't go through this in Season 24, so a little bit of a nuance here. As you take a look at the leaderboard, how things were coming into the finale, week number 5. Well done, Baku, Cratrium, Blister Gypsy, Funtang, and Slipstream. Slipstream, who was back there in 11th position, at least when things finished out here. And I'm watching the drivers as this is going to take some time, so bear with us. It's like a full-on caution in any other real-world racing series. It's not just, hey, let's get the debris off the track, let's get the car off the track, or whatever, what have you. There is some logistical things that need to be sorted out to make sure that everything gets back underway and in a way that that suits where we were when we closed this thing out. And all the drivers are actually going to line themselves up in kind of a grid formation. That way the organizers can take note of who is where. Family Dude saying, well, pitting was a bad. Yeah, no kidding. Family Dude, I was telling you, places, positions second through, second through everybody else. This is good for them. This puts them back up close against the leader. But who it's not good for is the leader, Blister Gypsy. For folks like Family Dude and Slipstream, I do believe. Or no, actually, I think it was maybe Presto's Besto. Somebody else went into pit lane there with Family Dude. And they lost spots as a result, and spots that they could have easily retained and then had a full tank of fuel and fresh tires here for a restart. And so now we're getting ready to jump out of the lobby as the organizers have taken note of everything that needs to be noted. I'm just going to look once again at that leaderboard, and what a great start, too. Not a lot of... we didn't... we didn't record any wrecks happening out there on the track. For the most part, everything looked especially clean out there. But this is one of those situations where you've got a driver who's been with the series or with the season all throughout the year, or all throughout the season. Been with the series all throughout the season in season 25, and respectfully, they want to be able to allow that driver to complete the series. Presto is besto as we take a look at the leaderboard there, sitting 13th on the opposite side in that right-hand column. Wants every opportunity to see this through all the way to the end. Family Dude says trying to mentally calculate everything on the fly for a 1 versus 2 stop wasn't easy. This simplifies things though a little bit. There goes Family Dude, and so we'll see. I mean, we're less than halfway through this race. So what this will mean for Family Dude and other drivers who had taken their pit stop, what this means for them heading toward the end, it remains to be seen, because they may still have to, well, I don't know. Family Dude says that 2 pit stops was definitely a must. But now what happens? Now that we're at lap 26, I believe it is, out of 58 or 59, depending on where the race organizers are going to set it now, this effectively resets everybody's pit strategy, but anybody who pitted already has fallen back down the order and effectively got penalized because somebody else got disconnected. Yep. Well, and it's just like the real world, too. You know, you take that pit stop and you hope that there's not going to be a yellow flag that follows shortly thereafter. And when it does, it's just heartbreaking, because you know, had you been out there another lap or two and gone through the experience of the yellow flag while in the position that you were in, then when the pit lane reopens, you can go back in and not lose position. Well, it's hard to plan that. It's hard to know when that's going to strike, and especially probably as unpredictable as ever is a disconnect for our drivers out here. Everybody is readied up, and I imagine our race organizers just double-checking, triple-checking to make sure everybody is placed back out on the track where they belong. And let's see here. This may be a slow rolling start where they may have a pace lap. Let's go ahead and listen in and see if we can't get any clues here.
Just go.
Yeah.
Put the shit on that.
Stay off of about 22, all right? We got a little bit of a makeup come through.
And no clues. Weiss Lancelot is readied up. We'll go ahead and switch things over for you here. You can see the lobby all reassigned, refilled at 24 drivers, 23 drivers actually. That'll be -1 from me as the spectator. So 23 returning back out into the track. Family Dude saying preparing for many, many sends now. Family Dude he's ready. For somebody who is just now joining season 25 here in the finale after having won it all in season 24, this guy's in great spirits, and I don't blame him. He's here to have fun. He if it so happens that he ruins somebody's night by taking some points away from them, then he's done his job. Oh, Shadow Edge Media, Dustin Moore here, broadcasting to you live. Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, the finale. 58-lapper out at the Glen, and we had Presto as Besto get disconnected a little bit less than midway through this race, and so out of respect for Presto, they're going to allow him to join back in, but as is the case here in the virtual world and in Forza Motorsport 7, there is no way for a driver to just jump back into a lobby after a disconnect. The entire lobby needs to come back out, and the race organizer then needs to structure the race accordingly, back to where it was when we finished the last lap, but then also planning everything out for a restart, which we're getting ready to do as we get the countdown. And we'll go ahead and set our view here on Fear the Fun. Plankton, or Well Done Baku, there in the pit lane saying calculations intensify. These guys trying to think, okay, what is my strategy now? Didn't anticipate this. Didn't think that by lap 26 we'd be stopping everything, but we are. And so now what does that do in terms of strategy? You're very much, it's very much a compressed field now at this point versus where we were, where the entire grid of 23 was spread all out and across. And here we go. I think it's going to be a full-on green lap right off the start line. And Blister Gypsy with Fear the Fun back there. And again, Blister Gypsy did not want this. And Blister Gypsy is incredibly wide coming through turn 1. Back out on the track, up T2. Able to hold on to the top spot after almost tapping the guardrail. He was almost giving high fives to the grandstands. He was so wide. Forgot what it felt like to have all that grip, or lack thereof. I mean, sure, you have more grip than where you started, but you've got cold tires at this point. The car feeling a little bit different than what it was when you were last driving. And there we go. So who was leading the race to begin with is back out there. Blister Gypsy, Fear the Fun in second. Well done, Baku in third. Private Louie is up to fourth position with Craytrim in fifth. Mr. Biggie in sixth. Family Dude is seventh. Fontaine continues to claw his way up, and this restart will help him. He's in eighth position. Slipstream in ninth. Gotta go fast in 10th. T-Phrase is 11th. PJ Dude is 12th. Modern Weapon in 13th. Ray Devil is 14th. Disco Joint in 15th. Slow Motion Fire is 16th. Weiss Lancelot 17th. Motive, Bippity, and Presto Esbesto are 18th, 19th, and 20th. Fast Eddie in 21st. Demo's 22nd. TFX Drift Bunny in 23rd. Ollie telling us there in the pit lane with a little bit of a wink. I knew I should have brought the pace car along. GTOLW Ollie, big presence in the Forza Motorsport community, and most of you probably know him from the Forza broadcast, being a moderator in there and helping us out here in the channel. He is our honorary pace car driver for the finale of the Mileage Masters Championship, not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. Again, that's at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to do our first rolling start race. And what better setup to do it than at Daytona in NASCARs? It's going to be a great one. He's got a beautiful, beautiful pace car drawn up by Slow Motion Fire to be able to take out there. And look at that. Blister Gypsy, well done, Baku, tapping that barrier, almost punching it like a punching bag before jumping back out onto the racing surface. What a strategy. Craytrim now. Actually, no, that's Craytrim's in a good position. That was not Family Dude, but pardon me, that was Private Louie, who went off the track there for a little bit. He was able to come back on quite nicely, though, fourth. Craytrim probably wishing he was a little bit further up, because that was at least one position he should have been able to nab. Still running back there in fifth is Food. Or, excuse me, Craytrim. Food is back in eighth position still. Family Dude, who took that pit stop 2 or 3 laps before the caution flag, he's there in seventh position. And yes, it's fresh tires, full tank of fuel. They're not going to be able to make it to the end. So at least one more stop for all the... Well, I take that back. Some drivers may. That yellow flag might have been the pit stop for some of those drivers. For those who cannot make it all the way, well, they've got at least one more stop in their future. And, TFX Drift Bunny is well off the pace, and I suspect heavily damaged. Yes, 100% all the way around, and then 100% with the brakes on the left-hand side, as well as the springs and transmission, clutch, engine, steering, all heavily, heavily harmed on that Aston Martin. Not a good thing there for Drift Bunny. Let's go up to fourth with Well Done Baku. Our overall race leader on the leaderboard, 121 points coming into week number 5. He's trying to gain some more points because he's got Craytrim, Blister Gypsy, and Futang all trying to take that spot. Slipstream has got a lot of work to do if he's going to try to catch up, but it is possible. You're saying there's a chance? Yes, there is a chance. Fortunately, Family Dude, Blister Gypsy, they worked out all the different scenarios. And so there are 5 drivers who have a chance at coming away as the champion here in Season 25. And there goes Drift Bunny into pit lane. You saw there on the right-hand side as the rest of the pack screams down the long straightaway here at Watkins Glen, the 2.49-mile short circuit. Very, very fast track. You've got to be focused the entire time. Hit your apexes, because once you come up to sections like this, right here, with the guardrails and the catch fence on either side, no room for any mistakes. And the drivers around you will thank you for not having any mistakes. Risk their car as well. Well done, Baku into the kink. Loading screen, but it looked like it was quick enough that we didn't lose anybody. I'll verify that here right quick. Yes, all 23 drivers still out on the track. Drift Bunny still in the pit lane. Very, very slow entry and exit for him. Let's go up to second position. Feel the fun. Trying to keep pace with Blister Gypsy. Aptly named as Blister Gypsy with that blister there. He's blistering those tires around the track, and now here it's where it's going to get interesting. Demos. It's actually Demos who was in the pit lane as well. He's coming back out into T2. He's got Private Louie. Oh, and Private Louie catches the back there of Demos, sends him spinning up the uphill section, and that's going to cause all kinds of havoc for the oncoming traffic. Let's go back to Futang in 6th. I think he was able to sneak by with no problem. Oh, no. Private Louie has moved up to 3rd. Caught Demos on the back as Demos was coming out of pit lane. Demos had nowhere else to go. That was the only place you could possibly be. And not sure if Demos is going to have to go in for yet another stop as a result. And we've got 2 other drivers that are in pit lane, and that's going to make for more chaos here as the lead cars come back out. They're probably looking at the map thinking, oh gosh, not again. Not again. There's Private Louie. Private Louie harassing Fear the Fun as they cross the line. Private Louie with the illegal number board there, number 60. Yeah, get all the information about what is required here in the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. Reddit.com/r/FN4. Get ready for season 26, which will be starting at the end of this month here in February. Race with these folks. Have fun. Get out here. Improve your skill or show off your skill. Whatever it is for you. These folks would love to be able to have you at their door panels, out there on the track with you. All you got to do is race cleanly. How about something different, something new, something that I haven't ever seen before? Check out Rivals Live. That's going to get kicked off here on February the 24th with a qualifying round. All the information that you need to know, including registration. There is registration. It's available at racetracks.com/rivalslive. That's RACETRACX.com/rivalslive. Pertinent link drop there by Nightbot in pit lane for you. Private Louie has gotten super aggressive here. He was fighting with Mr. Biggie and Cratrium earlier on this race, but now finds himself up to 3rd position with Well Done Baku dropping back a spot as they go back up the uphill section for lap number 8 of 33 of the remaining from the original 59. We had in this one 2.49 miles, a 700 class for the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, 607 horsepower, 607 foot-pounds of torque, 3,663 pounds of curb weight. This is a heavy, heavy car. Blister, Fear the Fun, Private Louie, Well Done Baku, Kratrium, Foontang. Let's go to Family Dude, who's still in 7th position. And again, 7th position as a result of an early pit stop before the yellow flag dropped. Not what he wanted, but we'll see what he's going to be able to manage to do. Now, Family Dude, unable to do any testing coming into this race. He's really showing up purely for the fun, for the laughs, for the LOLs, as the kids say. And Family Dude going to look to the inside there of Foontang. What a pass! He's got it through T1. Let's see if he's going to be able to hold on to it. Foontang's going to be up on the curbing. Going to slide that back end out. And up the hill they go, side by side once again. And Foontang is going to concede 6th place there to Family Dude. And so Family Dude had no testing coming into this race, and that would be indicated by the fact that he may have to make at least one stop before this race is done. He's already up to 25% up front, 71% in the fuel tank, with 20-some laps here remaining, 26 laps remaining. Let's go to Disco Joy, 9th position, back behind T-Phrase. T-Phrase running in 8th again. Actually, let's go look at T-Phrase. T-Phrase, we got to talk to him before the race. He was pumped for this event out here at the Glen. This is the track that he nominated for season 25, and he couldn't be happier to be finishing this one out here. And what a showing in 8th position. Congrats to T-Phrase. Hopefully he'll be able to hold on to that. He's got some stiff competition with Disco Joy there behind him. And Slipstream in 10th. Slipstream making his way up through the pack. PJ Dude in 11th, Presto is Besto in 12th, Slow Motion Fires 13th, Ray Devil in 14th, Modern Weapon 15th, Weiss Lancelot 16th, Fast Eddie in 17th, Motive in 18th, Mr. Big in 19th, 20 has got to go fast, Demos, Bippity, and Drift Bunny round out the bottom 3 of 23. Up on board with Private Louie, who's trying to get around Fear the Fun for 2nd position. Let's do a lap here. See how this one turns out. Up to T1 on the brakes. No chance there. Private Louie was a bit aggressive coming out of the restart. And again, he was having to battle it back out there in 4th, 5th, and 6th. Actually, make that 5th, 6th, and 7th with Mr. Biggie and Kratrium earlier on. He's probably happy that he's away from them, but now has an opportunity to move up to 2nd position. Private Louie, not in contention for the championship. As a matter of fact, trying to put his first points forward here in season 25, but this is another one of those drivers, in addition to Mr. Biggie and Blister Gypsy, that we're going to have to look out for in season 26. These guys are god-awfully fast, and Blister Gypsy being the fastest of the bunch currently. Out there at first, you see him out there on the horizon, and here we go. Private Louie's going to look to the outside. Fear the Fun moving out to the outside a little bit. Should try to line him up for this left-hander, and now Private Louie's going to run a little bit wide. Darts back off to the outside. Going to look for it, and Fear the Fun. Just enough of a mistake for Private Louie to make the move, and 2nd place is now his down the straightaway for the start of lap 12. What a move there by Private Louie, and he was just watching. He knew Fear the Fun has made a couple of mistakes as he was tracking him there, and on that final right-hander, again, which was the corner that I said earlier is always the corner that bites me. It bit Fear the Fun, and now Well Done Baku is starting to close in there in 4th position. Hang out with us at the conclusion of this one. We'll talk to some of our drivers, and I think we'll actually be able to crown a champion unofficially. We'll allow the officials to go ahead and record everything and make sure everything's on the up and up. But we'll talk to some of our drivers here at this one and see their thoughts and whether or not they're happy or sad about how things have concluded here in season 25, and perhaps we'll get some wishes. We'll get their dream sheet drawn up of what car they would like to see in season 26, and of course that announcement will be made at reddit.com/r/FM4 in the coming days, if not weeks. Or I should say weeks, if not days. Fear the Fun now going to look to the inside. Turn one. Oh, what a pass by Fear the Fun. Oh, they're going to be side by side, though. Up to T2, and Private Louis is going to take it back. And Well Done Baku's got to be licking his chops. If you're Well Done Baku, here's what you do right now. You don't get too crazy. Don't get too aggressive. Let these two battle it out. Perhaps they make a mistake and they both go flying off track, and there goes Fear the Fun well off into the grass, so that was definitely cutting through that corner. Perhaps he'll assess himself a little bit of a penalty here by just staying off the back bumper of Fear the Fun, or excuse me, off of Private Louis. And wow, he was a little bit wide coming out of the right-hander as well. At lap 13 of 33, Fear the Fun feeling the pressure or something, maybe really wanting that spot back there from Private Louis. As we look at Private Louis' situation, let's go back to Fear the Fun, though. I feel like his is going to be a little bit more, well, not too bad. 40% there on the front left, 56% not consumed, 56% remaining in the fuel tank. Oh yeah, by the way, that whole Rivals Live thing I was telling you a little bit about earlier, and the website, to go check it out. It is bracket-based racing in a Rivals tandem format, and I know that's just not enough detail to cover all the intricacies, and actually it's not even that intricate, but to explain exactly what we're doing, you should probably just go check out the website, and again, that's racetracks, TRACX.com, racetracks.com/Rivals Live, or you can just go to racetracks.com. Click on the Rivals Live logo up in the upper right-hand corner, and you can read through the rules and get to the registration. Again, it's something that I have not seen, so I'm immensely excited for that one, and I know we have a lot of drivers that are as well. Continue to watch Fear the Fun, Private Louis here, and they've got some lap traffic out in front of them now to deal with. That's Modern Weapon there in 20th position. And so not only does it behoove Well Done Baku to wait and see what happens with these two drivers, Mr. Private Louis and Fear the Fun, what they do between each other, but then also what they're going to do with lap traffic. And actually, Well Done Baku finds himself now tucked behind Modern Weapon there, coming through T2. Up through the chute. On the back straightaway. 2.49 miles. It was Family Dude during qualifying who set the top time at a 1:15.8, I believe it was. Oh, and there goes Fear the Fun once again. Oh, I gotta say, I think we're gonna have to have. I think Fear the Fun's gonna have to take a little bit of a slap on the wrist here. He's at least done that twice that we've seen. And well beyond the track limits, the tolerances that were prescribed ahead of this race, where yes, you can use the curbing to its in its entirety, but the grass is a no-no. There goes Family Dude into pit lane once again, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Family Dude, as we saw through the first 26 laps, had to make one stop. The 33 laps here remaining after the restart is going to have to go in and cruise down pit lane for another stop and a new set of tires, fresh tank of fuel, and that should be good for him for the remainder of this race, unless there is some sort of incident, which I sure hope not. Family Dude says, oh, I love turn one. Dive too wide through the uphill and scare the other drivers into submission. Family Dude just taunting there in pit lane. And here we go. We're too wide once again with Fear the Fun and Private Louis there through the kink. And now Fear the Fun being a little bit more mindful of his positioning. Private Louis on the verge there, on the edge. I think he was okay, though, at least that go-around. Are you enjoying the racing action? Are you not entertained? If you are, please click that follow button. We'd love to have you come back, watch the racing action that we've got coming up this Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Next Tuesday, we'll be doing some Be a Better Photographer. And oh, there goes Fear the Fun ducking into pit lane. Perhaps Fear the Fun has had enough with Private Louie at this point and just says, hey, you know what? I'm going to stop. You're probably going to stop at some point. Let's go ahead and do it now, and maybe we'll never have to see each other. Fear the Fun in the pit lane. Private Louie going wide out of turn 1 once again. Maybe not once again, but was there. So that moves Blister Gypsy. Continues to run out there in first position. Second position, Private Louie. Well done, Baku in third. Kraytrim now, as a result, by default, moves up to fourth position. Kraytrim just kind of running his own race here. He's second on the overall leaderboard. There behind Well Done Baku, and as long as he's able to stay out in front of Well Done Baku and Funtang, he'll be good there. The question will be with Well Done Baku. Or excuse me, the question will be with Blister Gypsy. The question will be with Blister Gypsy, who is leading the race. And of course, I said Kraytrim needs to stay out in front of Well Done Baku. He needs to actually get on front of Well Done Baku at this point. And we've got another driver going into pit lane. Trying to catch who that is, and that was Funtang. Funtang has gone in. As a result, it's going to drop back a few laps. Let's go to Blister Gypsy, our race leader. And oh, very close situation there with one of the lap cars. Presto's Besto. Oh, Blister Gypsy just coming out unscathed on that one. And again, he's good to go for many, many more laps here. Going to get very, very close to 33. I think the field is what's going to hold him back and force him to stop. But running out where he is, and of course the tune may very well have as much to play with the fact that his tires aren't as degraded as much as it also has to do with the fact that he's been able to run out here in front and, for the most part, avoid thrashing those tires. All the battles back behind him, those are the guys that are eating up those tires every time they're throwing on the brakes extra hard behind another driver, or if they're carving onto the inside to try to make a pass. Not the case for Blister. Well done, Baku now moves up to second. Kraytrim in third. Funtang in fourth. Disco Joint fifth. Slipstream back there in sixth position. He's making his way up through the pack. Slow Motion Fire in seventh. Fear the Fun is eighth. Private Louie back there in ninth after his pit stop. 10th is Family Dude. So even more pit stop decisions being made. We're going to go back up to Blister Gypsy and see if he doesn't make a stop, just to give himself a fresh set of tires to have optimal grip around the track, and then, of course, to make no question to whether or not he has any fuel or enough fuel to get to the end. We'll see if he makes that decision here. He's got some lap traffic out in front of him with demos, so this might be a good time for him to say, you know what, let's go ahead and point the nose to pit entry. I don't know, he's looking really, really fast through that final right-hander. No, but he's staying out. And there goes Well Done Baku now in pit lane with Motive back behind him. 17th place car. So Well Done Baku will now drop back a few points. Kraytrim moves up to second position. And we take a look at Kraytrim. Kraytrim looking pretty well off, except for that front passenger side tire, 53%. Getting up there, and Ollie telling us earlier that on these cars, maybe not so much as other cars and their tire configurations, but here on these Aston Martins, once those tires start to degrade, even at the point that they were at right now, it does become tricky for these cars. Some cars are not like that. You can get up to 70-80%, you're okay. not the case here. Baku closing in fast, says Ollie. Funtang has now found himself up to third position. Again, that's without his stop being made yet at this point. Fourth is Disco Joint. Slipstream has made his way up by default into fifth position. Again, that's without a stop as well. Sixth is Slow Motion Fire. Seventh, Private Louie, who has stopped and now is going to be charging back up to the front of the pack. Fear the Fun in eighth. Family Dude in ninth. Mr. Biggie in 10th. Weiss Lancelot 11th. 12th is T-Phrase. Fast Eddie in 13th. 14th is Well Done Baku after he emerges from pit lane. Presto's Besto is 15th. PJ Dude 16th. Gotta Go Fast in 17th. Modern Weapon is 18th. TFX Ray Devil in 19th. He's in pit lane. 20th is Motive. Bippity in 21st. Demos 22nd. Drift Bunny in 23rd. And we saw Drift Bunny about 10 laps or so ago. There in the kink. All kinds of damage, and that puts him at the very back of the pack. Of the 23 cars that started, 23 out on the track after a restart following Presto is Besto's disconnect. We've got everybody back on the track, and that's the way that we like to conclude these races, with everyone who started making it all the way to the end. Unfortunately for the drivers, though, those 26 laps to begin with are for naught. No credits do they receive for those as a result of having to quit the lobby. And again, maybe in Forza's future is a way for drivers to get back into the race that they started. As long as the lobby understands that you were the one who started that race, it leaves a spot for you to reclaim once your connection is back online. Watching Blister Gypsy get out of turn one. He is not yet going into pit lane. Craytrim is in a pit lane, who is our second place driver, at least for now, and he's going to, well, actually, no, wait, hold on. It looked like Craytrim was, no, Craytrim is definitely in pit lane, but what has happened? His car, oh no, Craytrim is parked up against pit wall in pit lane. What do we do now? Now what? Craytrim, who's contending for the championship, has his nose pointed into the pit wall, and there's nothing he can do about it. Those are AI-controlled cars when they are in the pit lane, and I suspect something is going to happen here. Let's go to race control and try to figure it out.
Well, I'm also in 17th, so it's not like I'm really fighting for anything at this. Well, although they will be pitting. All right, let's type with the hammer down. See what we can get out of this. Burn, baby, burn. While you're in thirds, I definitely want to take you out now.
I'm not hearing anybody saying anything about Craytrim. We'll see here.
I'm not going to get first. It'll be a fight with Disco. Unless he comes out of the pits ahead of me, and then I've just got to hold third for all it's worth.
What happened to CT?
According to Shadow
He
Edge,
pitted.
Room had the same issue as Baku's had.
And it looks like, or it sounds like, they're just now realizing that C-Tom, or as he's known now, Craytrim, is stuck in pit lane with nowhere to go, and Craytrim is saying that he's already conceding to Blister. Congrats on the win. It's almost as Craytrim is saying, "Hey, let's just keep this thing rolling. I'm not gonna come out." Well, and it looks like maybe he has either been able to wiggle free, or he has dropped out of the lobby, and he has dropped out of the lobby along with another driver. So we've got two drivers that are now out, to include C-Tom, who was in the running for the championship. Not the way that we want to see things go. What a terrible, terrible glitch. Sky Active saying, welp. And we'll go back up here to Blister Gypsy. We're waiting to see when he makes his pit stop here on lap number 24 of 33. Because everybody else, for the most part, has made a stop. Slipstream is up to second position. He'll be the exception. Private Louie is back up to third where he was. Family Dude in fourth. Fear the Fun in fifth. Slow Motion Fire in 6th. Boonting is 7th. Mr. Biggie in 8th. Disco Joint is 9th. T-Phrase 10th. 11th is Weiss. Lancelot Fast Eddie 12th. Presto is Besto is 13th. PJ Dude in 14th. Man, things have really gotten wacky here toward the end of this race. And, oh, was it Baku? We lost Baku as well. So well done, Baku, who was leading who was at the top of the leaderboard entering today's race, is now off the track and done. And Blister Gypsy, we'll continue to watch him here as I look for a battle out on the track. All these drivers mostly spaced apart. Let's go find this one here for 3rd and 4th with Private Louie and Family Dude. Slow Motion Fire, and back there behind them is Fear the Fun in 6th. So we got a nice battle here from 3rd on back. And perhaps Family Dude's going to do a little bit of an initiation here to Private Louie, saying, hey, welcome to FM4. Welcome to FM4, Private. Into T1. Lap 25. And actually, they're just starting lap 25. Blister Gypsy getting ready to conclude lap 25 here after the right and left. Excuse me, the left and right. And Blister, I'll watch his little circle. We're going to stay on the action back here, but looking at Blister's blip there as it crosses start-finish line, not going into pit lane once again. If you're Family Dude, you're coming out of this right-hander awfully fast. You're going to be making a look for an opportunity to pass. It's not going to happen here. Private Louie was following Fear the Fun through this section, and that's where Fear the Fun made a mistake, allowing Private Louie to gain a spot. Let's see if Family Dude is now the one who's going to be watching for a mistake. Into the right-hander they go. No such luck for Family Dude that time, as they start to encounter lap traffic. Well done, Baku, saying thanks for broadcasting the season, No Shadow. Hey, it's been my pleasure. I look forward to season number 26, and I hope we'll see you out there on the track as well. Perhaps at the conclusion of this one, you'll be able to hold on to the championship. I know it's highly unlikely at this point. You'll get 3 points, obviously, for starting. But we'll see how it all shakes out here. And even if I were to do the calculations, I know Blister Gypsy gave me... Oh, and there goes Family Dude into the side of Private Louie. I said that he was going to maybe initiate him in F4. That was not what I had in mind. And Family Dude now up to 3rd. Private Louie has fallen back to 5th position with Slipstream and Fear the Fun getting around. And let's go to Fear the Fun. In 3rd, Slip in 4th. Yikes! Things have really gotten half part exciting, half part curious, interesting. And there they go, 2, 3, 4, and 5 back across the line. And Blister Gypsy, if you look at the map there, Blister Gypsy with that 1 all the way on the opposite side of the track. So even if he does a pit stop here, nobody's going to be able to catch him. He'll be able to re-emerge in first place. Incredible. Incredible.
Oh, my hands. Oh, fucking hell.
We tried going to the Racer Comms, and we'll give those guys their space. That's their space to speak freely, and we dip in there every once in a while, maybe catch a word on what's happening on the track. Oftentimes it's the opposite. Private Louie now, he is we're watching Private Louie here because he is screaming. Like I think he's probably got his his fingertips just indented into the controller or the steering wheel, whichever he is using, trying to get back up there with Family Dude, who may have given him a little bit of a bump through the kink, and now has dislodged the Private back to 5th position behind Commander Slipstream. I'm going to call him Commander. We got Private and Commander. Obviously, they're Slipstream representing the CMD racing team. Go to Blister real quick. He's going to stay out of the track. Let's take a look at the situation. 16% fuel. He might be able to make it all the way to the end. Blister Gypsy might have just an absolutely OP setup on that Aston Martin Vantage that when we went into the restart, that was his pit stop. Ray Devil going to go wide. Slipstream has now fallen victim to Private Louis. He's moved up to 4th position. So Private Louis now starting to close back in on Fear the Fun. What's up there, Cosmic Cowboy? Thank you very much for hanging out with us here this evening and for the follow at that. I appreciate that. Anybody who's watching and enjoying the broadcast, all the craziness that has happened here in the finale of Season 25 Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series, please click that follow button. We've got Mileage Masters Championship Racing coming up on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Private Louis is going to go extremely wide on a T1. We've got Be a Better Photographer broadcast, a little bit of a tips and tricks coming at you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll make that 9 p.m. Eastern. And then the Rivals Live coming at you starting February 24th with qualifying, the qualifying round. That's a 4-week bracket-based series. And there in that qualifying round, we get the standings of all the drivers, we rack and stack them, and that's who they face in the bracket to try to make their way all the way on that road to the trophy to claim the top spot. Who's the fastest out on the track? It's tandems, one-on-one, faced off against each other, both stock cars, 32 drivers. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. You don't want to miss it. And again, that's beginning February 24th. But the Mileage Masters Championship, season number 5, race number 5, coming at you this Sunday with the Audi 2018 Audi RS3 LMS car out at Brands Hatch. There goes Blister Gypsy around some lap traffic. And Private Louis is closing in on Fear the Fun, perhaps extending the track limits a little bit to do so. Thumbs up back at you there, Cosmic Cowboy. Nice name, too, Cosmic Cowboy. Isn't there like a video game that is something like that? Like it's like Space Cowboy. I don't know what it's called. It's something cowboy and it has to do with space. It looks pretty cool. Didn't play it. Private Louis pushing that Aston Martin V8 Vantage as much as it possibly can, sliding it through the kink. We haven't seen that approach taken. Almost drifting it there through those 4 corners. Board, Private Louis. Lap 31. Almost in the books. And I think Blister Gypsy is going to be able to make it the entirety of this race without an official pit stop. By default, with the restart, that filled up his fuel tank, gave him fresh tires, but he's not had to go into pit lane a single time. And rightfully so, because he had such a large lead there at the beginning through those first 26 laps. To have the yellow flag come out, to bring that pack back up to him, I mean, obviously that's all part of racing, but it's one of those things where you're like, man, he had such a good run, he shouldn't be having to deal with fending off all these other drivers, but then he took off again, and and so he's not had to relinquish control to the AI, not a single time. Back to Private Louis here as they begin their lap 32. There's Private Louis running wide once again. Back uphill. Talk to a couple of our drivers here. We'll have time for maybe one or two at the conclusion of this one. Private Louis, again, just really making as much use of what track limits and then some as he possibly can as he continues to close in on Fear the Fun. Fear the Fun, he's got lap traffic in front of him. That's Demos. And Demos is going to stay on his line. So Fear the Fun has no choice but to just kind of hang out right there. And maybe a last lap heroics. And oh no! Blister Gypsy! Blister Gypsy is off the track! Where is he? He's off the track entirely. What's going on? Blister Gypsy off the track, and Family Dude is going to make a pass. I'm confused. I don't know what's happening. It's the final lap, and we've got drivers. Well, they're running wide. I'm confused. I'm confused. Somebody tell me. Race is not over. The race is not over. There is one lap remaining. No, the race is not over. They're on their final lap. I don't know what they're doing. Perhaps this last lap is just kind of a celebratory lap, and I didn't know that. But they do +1 to form for the results, probably. I see. Gotcha, Sky Active. Thank you. I knew there had to be something going on there. They didn't do this here in Season 24, so this is something new for me. Single file at the end of it out of T1. Gotcha. So they'll go single file. They didn't do this in Season 24, so I was not aware that there would be this +1 here at the end. And so they'll form everybody up to do a single file finish. Wrap this one up. And we can't see them as they're off onto the runoff area here. We'll go ahead and switch over into game camera view, and that'll give us a look. So we'll go to the front there with Blister Gypsy. Ollie's saying this is a new change. Gotcha. Well, there you go. A little something new. So they'll kind of do a celebratory single file finish. That'll allow all drivers to come across the line at relatively the same time, which is just a little bit of a courtesy for all the drivers to be able to finish the race for one, but then also be able to finish out the season alongside each other. Well, it's been fantastic broadcasting this series, Season 25, Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. This is the second season that I've done now after Season 24 in the Fiat X19s. Looking forward to Season 26. Happy, proud to be the official broadcast partner of FM4, and undoubtedly whatever is picked next, it's going to be a great car that is going to provide equal amount of competition. And then that'll be followed up by 5 weeks of racing, just like we have here. All the rules, all the details, how you can get registered there at reddit.com/r/FM4. And here we go. Blister Gypsy is starting to roll out. at some point here, they'll decide to go full forward. Family Dude right up there alongside, at least for now. Family Dude saying, incident on lap 27 was not me hitting Private Louis. He went into slipstream. I slipped through without contact. Oh, there you go. There you go. From our camera view, it looked like maybe it was a collision between the two drivers. It was not the case as Family Dude was telling us, which is good to hear. But there you go. It's going to be Blister Gypsy running out in front, and wouldn't you know it, he's just going to take off from the pack, and right behind him, Family Dude sliding it out with Fear the Fun and Slipstream and Private Louis all around. They're going 4 wide down the long straightaway as we watch Blister Gypsy's No Fear Aston Martin V8 Vantage make its way around the track. 607 horsepower. About to put these things to bed in the FM4 series. That'll be it. And I know a lot of these drivers had talked about, hey, this was kind of their first time really getting in with these cars, tuning them up for tracks, tuning them up for the races, and have found a new love for these cars, or maybe a familiarity that didn't exist before. Now they have that, so even if they don't love the cars, they certainly appreciate them now as they head back toward the start-finish line. And Slipstream is going to be out there in front. Blister Gypsy and there you go. Fotang apparently coming away with the win. Will allow the organizers to sort out the points in this one. If I had to do the math in my head, my guess is that Well Done Baku, well, unfortunately Well Done Baku wasn't able to complete this race. I think that will earn 3 points, I think, depending on what the organizers decide here. Now, Cratrium, who was second then on the overall leaderboard with 112. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull out the race here, and we'll pick up the drivers in the driver's spotlight here following if there are any. And as a matter of fact, we do have some. So let's go ahead. While the rest of the pack finishes things up, let's go chat it up with Blister Gypsy, who was just phenomenal here in this race. Blister Gypsy, can you hear? Oh, there he goes. He dropped out. Let's go to Family Dude. So there's Family Dude, and I hope Family Dude can hear me. And Family Dude, go ahead and clear up what happened back there with Private Louis back in the kink, I think around lap 28 or so. And, of course, it'll help if...
Slow, whenever you take pictures of this, please take a picture of my drift on the last turn.
There we go. Now we got Family Dude. I was trying to move drivers around. We got Family Dude now. Family Dude, go ahead. Clear things up. What happened back there with Private Louis? I think it was around lap 27, 28 or so.
Yeah, the lap 27 incident, I've not seen it on the stream. Obviously, I was driving at the time, so I'll need to look at that. As far as I know, it was a miscommunication. Someone braked late. Someone else might have broken early. There was no contact from me in front. I was far enough behind for that not to be an issue. The
Good
two
deal.
of them got tangled up in the bus stop.
Yeah.
I just sort of slipped on through.
Good deal. And, yeah, from our perspective, it looked like maybe that a collision had been the case between the two, but obviously not all the camera views are wonderful, and so missed that one there. But tell us now about the whole situation with strategy. You pit, and then about 2 or 3 laps later, here we go into caution mode situation.
Yeah, I think that was just a case of bad timing, really. I mean, stuff happens, Can't really predict anything like that occurring, so just have to stick to your own strategy and hope that something like that doesn't happen.
Able to
It does,
recover.
just adapt to it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, adapt you did. I mean, you were able to recover quite nicely. You had to go in for a second pit stop there on that second stint while all the other drivers had to do as well. It seemed like Blister Gypsy was the only one that had a setup that allowed him to go a full race without actually going into pit lane thanks to that restart. Pretty satisfied. I mean, here you are. You come into this race. You're not contending for the championship. just looking to come out there and maybe have a little fun and perhaps ruin somebody else's season ender. But you pretty happy with the way things turned out?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, I was only there to have fun, have a good race with some people. I wasn't out there to essentially ruin people's races. I just wanted to do what I could do.
That's the storyline, though. That's the drama we have to bring into the broadcast. We got to say something.
If you want to put it like that, then sure. Yeah, we'll go along with that.
No, we know you're a good guy there, family dude, and all the sportsmanship in the world. So looking to 26, and this is assuming, of course, that you could participate. What car are you hoping our champion picks?
I'm hoping he's already picked, so I don't influence it either way by saying this. But ideally, A or S class.
R or S class? Any of the either of the two classes? Okay, gotcha.
A or S class.
Oh, A or S. A or S. I thought I heard R, but A or S.
I'm
Okay.
not sure they picked R, but yeah, anything reasonably quick.
S would be a good step up since we were in A class here with the Aston Martin Vantages, so an S class would be a nice little graduation there to the next level.
Absolutely, yeah. I think S class sort of provides a real challenge as well, with a lot more power, but the potential for a lot more grip as well. So
yes,
I'm not saying who knows what's going to be picked. So just have to wait
deal.
to see, really.
Well, family dude, thanks very much for joining not only here in the driver's spotlight, but then out on the track here for today's race. And we hope to see you in more racing action, either in this series, in the MMC, or any of the or all of the above, moving ahead.
Absolutely, yeah. I think we've got a solid idea of who's taking the championship today. So without spoiling, I'll say congratulations to that person.
Congratulations to that person.
With
that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pull in Slow Motion Fire, who's the organizer of this event, and go ahead and ask him. That the whole last lap there thing that threw me off a little bit. So who are we looking at here as the champion for season 25?
Well, I don't have the points tallied, but it's looking like it's going to be Blister.
Wow, yeah, and what a phenomenal way to come back through. Well done, Baku, who was at the top at 121, Kratrium 112. Let's talk about that. An unfortunate situation for both of those two drivers there at the top. Well done, Baku, Kratrium. Kratrium, we saw it. He had his nose wedged into the pit lane wall, unable to get off because the AI had control. And then we didn't catch what happened to Well done, Baku, but just an unfortunate turn of events.
To Baku.
Really? Wow. Wow.
Oh.
I don't know what to say about that.
Just enough there to back out of the race and not cause a caution, letting everybody race that one out. So tip of the hat to both those guys.
Yeah, tip of the hat indeed. And hopefully that just inspires both Well Done Baku and Kratrium to come back there in season 26 and say, okay, you know what? We had a real shot. We got it taken away from us, but now we're here to get it back.
I think so. I don't think this will hold him back at all.
I don't think so either. How about you though, Slow Motion Fire? We saw you jumping up from positions. I think, unless I'm wrong, I think we saw you as high up as 6th position as drivers started to go into pit lane. So you were shuffling up there in the single digits and then back to the double digits. But ultimately, where did you finish in that one?
I believe I finished in 11th. Yeah, I was trying to no stop it there on fuel, but I was going to be a lap short, so I had to bail into the pits.
Bail into the pits. Very, very cool. And then tell us a little bit of the methodology there behind the +1, just out of curiosity for my own sake. Is that an opportunity for the drivers to kind of, in this finale, convene all on one lap, have a little bit of fun, take it all the way to the checkered flag?
Well, yeah, it's something we kind of implemented here for this race because we've always raced it out with the 4-minute timer before. Whereas on the track, we were having issues with the drivatars. So this was our method to continue finishing the race the same way we've been all season, but not have the drivatars affect it. Next season, we'll have a different finishing procedure to kind of clean it up.
Very good. Very good. Well, exciting stuff. This was a fantastic season. I don't know how it pairs up against some of the other seasons that you all have had, of the 25 that you guys have had to date. But I can only imagine what's to come here in season 26. What are your thoughts on the car choice? What are you hoping to see?
Well, I know what it is, and I'm not going to give too much away because
Okay.
I got to do the mystery photos yet. Those will go up tomorrow. So
even
yes,
even a little bit of a clue, any little slightest clue that you could give, apart from that it has 4 wheels.
Be up tomorrow, and that's all the clues you're getting.
Reddit.com/r/FM4. That's where you're talking about, correct?
Yeah, and they'll be posted in the Discord too.
In the Discord as well.
There'll be 2 locations for them.
Perfect. There you go. Hey, Slow, I appreciate the opportunity to host the broadcasting aspect of these races. And again, I look forward to season 26 here, kicking off at the end of the month. And best to you and the crew here in continuing to do these things here throughout 2019. They're phenomenal.
And back at you, Shadow. You do a top-notch job with the streams, and we're lucky to have you doing this for us. So thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it. It's my pleasure. Absolutely. Let's go. Let's try to bring in Blister Gypsy here. Blister Gypsy, can you hear me?
Yes, I got you. Can you give me?
I can. Absolutely.
Cool.
Now, tentatively, once Slow does all the points, calculations, and all that good stuff, drops some bad weeks from some of the drivers, and ultimately sees where everything stands, anticipating you moving up to the top spot. Maybe not necessarily the way that you would like to see it happen with Well Done Baku and Cratrim, but such as racing in the real world where, just with the snap of a finger, things can change that suddenly.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not even sure what happened to them. What happened to them?
We caught Cratrim. We didn't see it with Well Done Baku, but Slow tells us that it was the same for him, that their nose of their car when they went into pit lane got wedged into the pit lane wall. And because they're an AI, they can't go anywhere. They're stuck there, and so that's how their race is ended.
Oh man, yeah, that's never the way you want to do it. That's never the way you want to win it. So yeah, I feel real bad for those guys. Man, that's a bummer.
Yeah, indeed. You were very, very strong. And, of course, depending on where Well Done Baku and Cratrim would have ultimately finished, it would have been a very close calculation in terms of the points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you were strong from the get-go. From the beginning of the race, you took the pole position and ended up several car lengths out ahead. Then came the disconnect of Presto Esbesto, which necessitated the restart or the caution.
Mm-hmm.
Well timed for you.
I hope that was sarcasm. I was so, oh man, and I mean that's the way it goes. You see it in NASCAR all the time with guys way out in front with 5 laps to go and they get a caution, and it's just like no.
Definitely sarcasm intended there. I'm just that was what we were saying is, hey, 2 through the rest of the pack, great for them because now they get to reel you in, but for you, not the case.
Oh yeah, and I was really concerned too because second place starts on the inside, and if you get even just the slightest better jump, that's exactly how I got Family Dude.
Yeah.
As he spun a little bit off the start, and I was already on the inside there, and so I was like feathering the throttle off of the start, like please get the best start you can because I know Fear's right on the inside there, but he gave me a little bit of room. So he got under me, I think once or twice though. He made me real nervous there for a second, but I don't know if we got caught up in lap traffic or what exactly happened to him.
And then even after the restart, you came out guns blazing, were able to get through T1 cleanly with the pack right there on your heels. And then from that point forward, it was just navigating through lap traffic.
Yeah, just crank off laps. And then once I got about a quarter of the way done, once I got, like 5 to 6 laps in and I started to put some distance on Fear, I started to look at where my fuel was. I wanted to see if I could make it all the way. So I started short shifting a bunch of times. And once I made it halfway and saw that I was at about 54% on the tank, I was like, okay, I might be able to squeeze this out. So yeah, the last like 10 laps, I just stayed in 4th gear unless I needed to go up to 5th. So I ended up barely squeaking in there without having to stop. So I got pretty lucky.
Good stuff. Talking to Blister Gypsy here, who was the winner out at the Glen for the finale here in Season 25 of the Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. We're presuming that he is going to be the champion here in Season 25 after the officials take all the calculations, put all the points on the board. Great race out there. largely uncontested for the majority of it, apart from the restart where that brought the pack closer to you. You had to navigate through the lap traffic. Just all in all, a stellar performance. Anything that you have to say to all the drivers here in season 25?
No, other than just, thank you again for everything you do. Extremely huge thanks to Slow Motion Fire for putting all this on. Yes. I know this definitely got a little overwhelming with him, with, so many people wanting to be interested. But he handled it really, really well. And definitely Baku and CT, I feel so bad for them because they ran so hard and so strong all season. They were always up front, and it's a shame that, it ended up happening like this, but it's been a pleasure, and I'm excited to race with all these guys next season.
And at risk of getting a scolding from Slow Motion Fire, can you give us any sort of hint of what your ideal car for season 26 would be?
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can give it to you off the. I can tell you that the car that I pick it's going to be light. And it's going to be nimble. That's about as far as I think I can go.
Light and nimble.
Yep.
Less than 3,000 pounds?
No comment.
No comment. I'm just doing my part here.
Probably, yeah.
I got to put my journalism hat on and try to get any inkling that we can get. Well, I don't want to spoil the fun because yes, you guys during the off season they do a phenomenal time getting everybody excited, putting those clues out there on the Reddit, on the Discord channel. So be sure to check those out. Blister Gypsy, again, kudos to you out here at the race. Not only, and I say for this race, but also throughout the season. Looked really, really solid out there. You got some stiff competition if you happen to be back in 26, but at the very least, an opportunity for Cratrium and well done, Baku, to come back in season 26 and try to take back what I would say they're probably thinking is rightfully theirs after today's little flub.
I don't disagree, yeah.
Very good. Yeah, thanks for everything, and best to you here in the scoring. I think it's going to shake out in your favor, and we hope to see you out on the track again sometime soon.
All right, thank you, Dustin. Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you very much. You too. And there you go, folks. That's it. That's season 25 in the books. The Forza Motorsport Spec Racing Series. It has been a blast these last 2 seasons that we've been doing this. I can't think of any more fun that I would have normally had on a Tuesday evening, and than to do some of this racing. And I appreciate all of you who have taken the time to spectate and be a part of this. And we look forward to seeing you participating with us either out on the track or in the pit lane for future races. And again, season 26 coming at you here at the end of the month of February. And all the information, everything you need to know, including those teaser shots of what the next car is going to be, reddit.com/r/FM4. I'm sure those will be posted up here within maybe the week or two. More racing, as you see on the screen here, this coming Sunday, Mileage Masters Championship, season number 5, race number 5, that Audi RS3 out there at the Brands Hatch GP circuit. The first time the MMC has been at the GP circuit in all its 5 seasons. Take that 6 seasons, make that 6 seasons to include our season 0 beta test season. That's going to be a good race. We've got some drivers that are contending for the championship there in terms of mileage, and then the finale will be in just a little under 2 weeks' time, a week out from this coming Sunday. Will be the finale out at Daytona International Raceway. Yes, we're returning to Daytona, but this time on the Tri-Oval for NASCARs, and that's going to be phenomenal. Our first time doing a rolling start. We're going to pull it off. We're going to make it look good. We got a pace car and everything. It's going to be fantastic, and that's how we're going to wrap things up in season number 5, crowning a champion, our 7th or 8th champion at this point, because we had a season that had 2, so we're really racking up the number of champions. But plenty of racing action to come here on the channel, so even though the FM4 is shutting it down for a little bit, we'll be back with that on Sunday, and then also, again, on Tuesday, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, with Be a Better Photographer. That's going to be it for me here, folks. Again, my pleasure with broadcasting and bringing this action to you live here on Tuesdays. We look forward to doing it again. Until Sunday, y'all take care. Have a great rest of the week. If you get any more racing action in, either in the virtual world or in the real world, keep it fun, keep it safe, keep it clean. Kaderi3637, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Y'all take care. Have a great rest of the evening, morning, afternoon, wherever. And we'll see you next time. Adios. Goodbye.